was so scared of doing something wrong that I continually did something wrong. Hi everyone, Yohei Madison, and welcome back to another video on the channel. So last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't know when I'm going to get this particular video edited, I posted this video right here where I told you about this big reading challenge I was starting in 2025, but I told you all about it in ASL. And it was the first time I sat down in front of the camera and used ASL. It's the first time I witnessed what I look like when I use ASL. And I have some thoughts and I want to talk to you guys about it because while I edited the video and added subtitles so that you guys would be able to watch it for anyone who doesn't speak ASL, and you know what, potentially for those who do know ASL, maybe. I wrote down some things that I thought would be a good little thing to talk about because everybody always says when you're learning a new language, you need to record yourself and listen back to yourself talking or signing, in my case, in this language, so that you can see your mistakes. And some people say, well then yeah, but it's really hard to see your mistakes. And perhaps it is hard to, like, if you're speaking Spanish for like 5 minutes and you listen back to it, it might be hard for you to notice your mistakes. But for me, watching back this ASL video, I was able to notice quite a few things that I did that were wrong, simply because I wasn't as stressed or as nervous or as, what the heck am I doing right now? Because when I was recording this video, I want you all to know I was very, very nervous. I actually practiced with myself recording that video 2 times. That's where this list, the red words, they came from, because I tried to make that video without a camera 2 times. I was just practicing. And I had so many words. And I used a lot of them in the video, but for some reason I never used the word history. And I used the word country a lot more than the word America. And I don't even know if this is country. Why? Why would this be country? Anyway, so I want to do a quick little video talking about what I realized while editing my very first video in my target language. So let's get into it. If you haven't seen that video yet and you would like to, I will leave it linked down below and at the end of this, at the end screen, but you don't have to watch it if you don't want to. I'm not gonna blame you. Okay, I promise. Let's say that one of the first thing I noticed when I was looking at this video is that I used the same word a lot of times. You know, in English you have filler words and stuff like that, but when I was editing this video, I noticed I would repeat the same sign while thinking of what to say next, which might not necessarily be wrong and incorrect, but it is not incorrect, because one of the things, the first thing I noticed that actually made me write this down is when I said stay with me. I don't remember the context, but I said stay with me and I did this, which is the sign for stay, but I said I bounced it. I bounced the word stay, which I was like, stay with me. That's incorrect. That's incorrect, okay? So I noticed I did that several times. I didn't use filler words. Actually, I did use filler words. I used the word but. That's another thing in here. I used the word but a lot in this video instead of just taking natural pauses. I don't know if you've realized throughout this YouTube channel, but I like to speak. And even when I'm speaking, if my mind's not up to par with my mouth, I use a lot of filler words. I guess. I don't actually remember. I'm gonna notice. I feel like now on, I'm gonna notice if I use a lot of filler words. I think I do. I think I say the word a lot. Anyway, that's besides the point. We're not talking about English, we're talking about ASL. But in this ASL video, instead of just doing a natural pause to end a sentence, I made it a conjunction. I added the word but and then combined the 2 sentences together. I don't need to do that. Just pause. Madison, breathe, take a second. So I'm using words like stay, I'm bouncing the word stay. That's the only example I can think of, but it happened several times. I think if you rewatched it now, you would probably notice that I'm bouncing a lot of the words. And then I also use but a lot. And some of the things I do think the word but fit really well. Like when I was talking about the presidents and how I couldn't even name a couple of the presidents, like right off the bat. In my defense, I was really stressed out, okay? My mind was working really hard. Okay, but I do use the word but in real life. Anyway, so I couldn't name the presidents, and then I said but, and I think it fit in that case because I got really excited in real life, like, hey, hold on a minute, wait a minute.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Okay, anyway, so those are the first two things I noticed, filler words and bouncing the words, which, no, you don't need to do that. Obviously, I noticed that there were a bunch of words I knew but I couldn't recall, aka improve, enough. I definitely know the sign for enough, but during that video I could not recall it, and I actually had to write it down while I was editing so that I could go back and look up on my ASL dictionary what the heck the sign was. That's what these words are. Also, disclaimer is apparently not a word in ASL, so beware! Beware, baby! It might be, but my dictionary didn't have it. So I'm gonna save the biggest one for last, because it refers to like comfort zones, but I noticed that I also reused a lot of the same words in the video. Aside from using the word but, I also reused the sign country. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I also reused the sign country a lot of times. Why? That wasn't necessary, okay? I should have said history, but my mind was thinking country, and I guess with where I am on my level, I couldn't think of another word for why I wanted to learn about these books, why I wanted to read these books. I only could say I wanted to read these books so I knew more about the country. Yeah, the country and the history of my country. Like if somebody, I talked about this in the video, but I said if someone came up to me and just started having an argument with me, I wouldn't be able to defend why I love my country. And I could throw out a couple of things, but if I actually knew the history of it, I could cite literal events. And I want that power. I want that power so bad. I could cite literal events that happened and be like, yo, I love my country because in 1997, I don't know. In 1997, something happened, alright? I don't know what it was. Anyway, I did that a lot. And I hated that I didn't use the word history in that because I specifically wrote it down. I used it twice in my practice videos, but I just forgot about it in the moment. And I think I forgot about it so greatly because I was so nervous. You know what I mean? Like I was so scared of doing something wrong that I continually did something wrong, and my dad's texting me. I think this is a very interesting one, is you can tell when I was thinking about what I was saying compared to when I wasn't thinking about what I was saying. And what I mean by that is when I sat there and tried to think of what I wanted to say, word order was wrong. I do not think I did very much. If you look at the video 100% is words. Probably about 10% is correct word order. Grammar's probably incorrect about 90% of the time in this video, okay? And I noticed while editing and adding the subtitles in particular, because I started adding the subtitles in this ASL word order, that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to put them in English, right? But when I did that, I realized that in particular, an example is when I said biased, I don't want that. Meaning I don't want to be biased toward a particular president. I want to have multiple different opinions on one president so that I can then form my own opinion. And when in this video I said that, I used the correct word order. I just couldn't explain myself well enough, but I said bias, I don't want. In my mind, I automatically corrected the way I say it. the most important word first and then the action. Biased. I don't want biasism. Biasism? And then the final thing I have to talk about is something that I hate so much that I did. And I know I do it because I recognize that I do it when I talk with my coworker Merle. I use directional signs and then add the pronoun. So for example, in the video I said inform, which inform is a directional sign. Inform. I can teach you or inform you. You can inform me. And see, I did it right there. But, inform her, him, this group of people. You inform me. It's directional. So I don't need to add an additional pronoun. But I did. I said inform me. Or, I'll help you. Help is another one. Help is not one that needs a pronoun. It is already directional. It already has the pronoun built into the word or the sign. So I don't need to have the pronouns, but I fell back into my comfort zone where I had to include a pronoun because I was still using English. I was doing exact sign English. And this relates back to the moments when I wasn't actually thinking about it. I didn't notice it anyway, that I used pronouns with the directions. I didn't say don't want I, or I don't want, I just said bias, don't want. You know what I mean? So this really goes along with the fact that I'm still using exact English sign language. ESL, exact sign language. EESL, I don't know what it's called, but I noticed it a lot throughout this video that is my downfall. I know that's my downfall. I know I struggle a lot with sentence order in ASL. I'm not afraid to admit that, but the whole directional thing relates really back to just being obvious about it. Because if I didn't have to think about it, like when I said bias, I don't want, then that wouldn't be a problem, right, you guys? Right? Anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to touch on. I just wanted to kind of discuss all of the issues that I found, and I'm not even fluent in the language. So when I come back to this, hopefully by the end of this year, there'll probably be a lot more mistakes that I notice and that I'm embarrassed by. But I just felt like this is something that might help other people, and I also wanted to discuss these problems because I wanted to be honest about it. I know when I published that video that it was not perfect, but I'm learning, and I was hoping that by posting that I would give other people encouragement to not be ashamed of where they are in their language, as well as get some feedback. I need some help. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know any of your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Hey, we don't want to be biased, or bias we don't want. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, au revoir, salut, hey do, papa, and goodbye. Mwah.